Hi, everyone. Thank you for all you do for the American Cancer Society and for being part of this awesome virtual Relay for Life event today. You are making a difference. My name is Linda DeGarmo, and I am a volunteer with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, or ACS CAN. I want to give a shout out to any of you who are already a CAN member or a volunteer. We couldn't do our work without you. While separate organizations, the American Cancer Society and the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, or ACS CAN, share the same mission: to save lives, celebrate lives, and fight for a world without cancer. ACS CAN works for a world free from pain and suffering of cancer through public policy because so many decisions that impact the lives of cancer patients and the fight against cancer take place not only in the doctor's office, but in the halls of Congress and in the state houses across the country. ACS CAN and volunteer advocates like me talk to lawmakers at the federal level in Washington, D.C., the state level here in Wisconsin, or at the local level in communities across our state. I'll give you a few examples of the work that we do. At the federal level, one of our top issues that we always are advocating for is reliable, sustained increases to cancer research funding at the National Institute of Health and the National Cancer Institute, because we know that research is the only way we are going to find new cures and innovative ways to prevent and treat cancer. We also advocate for access to affordable and adequate health care, something so many more Americans are currently without due to the pandemic. Like the ACS volunteers that help push our joint mission forward, ACS CAN does too. Our volunteer advocates make their voices heard by talking with their lawmakers and sharing their personal stories of how cancer has impacted their lives and why cancer issues are important to them. My own cancer story starts back in 1972 when my 50-year-old mother was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. My two older sisters and I were married, but we had 4 younger siblings at home, the oldest being just 8. Mom fought hard for a little over a year before the cancer won. Mom died, and we were supposed to just carry on without her, without any help. It was really hard. My dad was a farmer, and he didn't know how to raise kids, so those 4 kids were pretty much on their own. And we older girls tried to help out, but we had young families, and we're also hurting from the loss of our mom. It was a tough time, but we made it. And those kids turned out to be awesome, successful adults. In Mom's short time with us, she instilled the love of family and God. Her influence got us through. Just 5 short years later, on Valentine's Day, 1978, our 9-year-old daughter Tammy woke with an earache. She had them quite often, and I knew if we didn't take her to the doctor, she would not get over it. So I took her to see Dr. Mary. During her exam, Dr. Mary commented that she didn't see any infection in Tammy's ears. She examined Tammy further, and that is when we noticed that her belly and chest were full of black and blue marks. Dr. Mary ordered a blood test, and 10 short minutes later, I was told that Tammy had leukemia. This was the start of a journey that I wish on no human being. There were no pediatric oncologists in La Crosse at that time, so we had to travel 3.5 hours to the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis for treatments. After we had been there just 2 short days, not knowing if our daughter was going to live, we were confronted with what so many other families have encountered across the country. We were not covered by medical insurance. My husband Marv had just started a new job, and we were in the 90-day waiting period. We were young, we were broke, we were scared, and now we were maybe going to be denied care because of no insurance. They told us at the hospital that we were candidates for what is now Medicaid, but that we would have to go back to Wisconsin to apply for that. We did apply, which was really hard. We had to leave Tammy in Minneapolis and had to travel back to Wisconsin. And it took 4 months, but we finally got word that we were accepted into the program. What a relief. It was one less thing for us to worry about. Tammy fought bravely, but no matter what she was given, she kept slipping out of remission. In August that year, we were told there were no longer any drugs that they could give her that were not experimental, and we were asked if we would sign her into an experimental program. Those papers were the hardest papers I've ever signed. She entered the program, and we were told that it could last 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, or forever, that these drugs may work. She started school in September as a 4th grader, doing very well, loving life. She was asked that fall to be junior royalty for the homecoming in Westby. She was so proud, and she even got to dance with the homecoming king. It was a night I will never forget. The week before Thanksgiving, we knew we were losing the battle. Tammy died 4 short days after Thanksgiving at the age of 9. And once again, we were supposed to just go on, and we did, but it was hard. But here we are, 42 years later, still going on, and missing her every day. Sometimes good things come out of bad situations if you look for them. A few years ago, I had the privilege of meeting a young researcher from UW-Madison by the name of Dr. Christian Capitini. The day I met him, his new method of treating childhood leukemia was approved by the FDA. It is called CAR-T therapy, and it is having amazing results with childhood leukemia. My 30-some years of prayers were answered that day. Finally, something that was working on this awful disease. We like to think that the experimental drugs that Tammy were on maybe helped him come up with this treatment. We don't know that, but I would like to think that our 9-year-old beautiful daughter helped find that treatment. Research is so important, and it is the only way we will win the war against cancer. Research is expensive, but it works. Dr. Capitini proved that. Dr. Capitini's first research grant came from the American Cancer Society, so he's very, very grateful to us for what we do. We need to continue to raise money for cancer research. I hope you will join with me and let your voices be heard so that somewhere, someday, that young mom doesn't have to hear the words, "Your daughter has cancer." As I said earlier, ACS CAN and ACS work together to achieve the same mission. The ACS CAN needs purple power to help move that mission forward. Every one of you has a story, a reason why you are part of Relay. It's your story that has an impact on our lawmakers. It's your story that they remember when they vote on how much money to put into cancer research each year or decide who should have access to health care. Please text STORY to 40649. That's text STORY to 40649 today and share your story with ACS CAN, just like I did with you today. Your story has power to change lives. Thank you.